St. Peter stood at heaven's pearly gate, where an old circus clown was awaiting his fate, with holes in his hat and a bright red nose, no better than a beggar in tattered, torn clothes. A clown with a tear near one of his eyes, who cried when he laughed, and laughed when he cried. Then he heard St. Peter call out his clown name, and he stumbled on up, his head humbled in shame. And Peter took out that big book of life and said, "Now, you old clown, let me get this right. For in this bright light, we shall see why you cried when you laughed, and laughed when you cried. You were a loony goon, a bungling buffoon, with pies in the face and twisted balloons. You struggled to juggle a few worthless balls from a bag of old gags through a lifetime of falls. A fool who had failed in all that he tried, who cried when he laughed, and laughed when he cried. Now, other clowns made fortunes and puffed themselves up. They won grants and awards, gold medals and cups. Other clowns had power and towers with their name, and TV shows that brought them great fame. And they used their big names to sell little white lies, while you cried when you laughed, and laughed when you cried. No, you were never an orange clown who blew a great trump and treated the circus like his personal dump. No, you were never a proud clown who would brag and boast about the poor souls you had grabbed and you groped. You were mostly ignored and even despised, because you cried when you laughed, and laughed when you cried. In the sawdust of sorrow, you planted a few laughs for some penniless children who could never pay you back. And you ran around the ring for these tatty exiles with a bucket of confetti, showering smiles. And you fought back their fear, and you kept hope alive. But you cried when you laughed, and laughed when you cried. You were a loser clown, the butt of jokes, stumbling and bumbling for poor homeless folks. And you never stepped on your fellows to climb to the top, like the sound of your shoes. You were just a big flop. So you died in the rain as you huddled outside, and cried till you laughed, and laughed till you cried. Then Peter closed up that big black book and gave that old clown a long, hard look and said, "Now I know why you have a tear on your face. You mourn for your follies, your failures, and disgrace." And looking back, he could see he had failed as a clown. He was turning to leave when his trousers fell down. Then he heard a creak as the gate swung wide. "Well, don't just stand there," Peter said. "Come on inside. Yeah, you old fool, come on, step on through. If there is a heaven at all, it's for clowns just like you." A clown with a tear near one of his eyes, who cried till he laughed, and laughed